Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Steffy Forrester gets hypocritical justice on The Bold and the Beautiful. The Bold and the Beautiful viewers thought Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline McFinswood, was done making Hope Logan's, Annika Noel, life a living hell for kissing her husband, but it turns out she's just getting started. After her hope for the future blackmail, B&B spoilers say Steffy is getting ready to hit Hope where it really hurts. Keep reading for all the details. Here's what's coming up next week on Bold and Beautiful. Steffy Forrester was livid when she learned her nemesis, Hope Logan, had kissed her husband, Dr. John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. But after she returned home from her kidnapping, Steffy laid down the law at Forrester Creations. Rich Forrester's, Thorsten K. daughter announced at the board meeting that Hope's line hope for the future was drowning and graciously gave her one last chance to get sales up. Of course, after the room cleared, Steffy informed Hope that her last chance came with a catch. If she caught her snooping around her husband Finn again, Queen Steffy was axing Hope for the future for good. According to Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Steffy's Forrester Creations blackmail is just the beginning. This week on the CBS soap, Steffy taunted Hope and told her that her mother Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Buddig, and father Ridge Forrester were still in love with each other. Hope reminded Steffy that Ridge was off the market and married to her mom Brooke. But Steffy's intentions were crystal clear. If the vows of marriage didn't matter to Hope when she was kissing Finn, why should her mom's marriage be protected? In not so many words, Steffy Forrester hinted that she was all for Ridge cheating on Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, with her mom Taylor. B&B spoilers say Hope Logan heard her threats loud and clear. Do you think Steffy will push her parents back together to get even with Hope and her mom? Is she being a bit of a hypocrite? Is it unfair that Brooke is being punished for her daughter's crimes? The luxurious offices of Forrester Creations had seen their fair share of drama over the years, but nothing quite like what was brewing on this sweltering afternoon. Steffy Forrester, standing tall in her office, the glass walls gleaming behind her, surveyed her empire with satisfaction. She had risen from the ashes of her past mistakes, taken control of her destiny, and reclaimed her rightful place at the helm of the family business. But as much as she liked to believe that she had outgrown her old ways, the ghosts of hypocrisy were not far behind. The topic on everyone's lips was the scandal involving her brother, Thomas, and Hope Logan. Steffy had found herself caught between loyalty to her family and her unresolved feelings toward Hope, her longtime rival. Yet despite her best efforts to play the moral high ground, Steffy couldn't shake the feeling that she, too, was entangled in the web of betrayal she was now condemning. It was as if fate was playing a cruel joke, giving her the justice she sought but with a twist of irony. Her thoughts were interrupted by a knock at the door. It was Ridge, her father, his brow furrowed with concern. "Steffy," Ridge began, stepping into the office. "I've been hearing things. Things about you going after Thomas. You're not considering cutting him off, are you?" Steffy crossed her arms and leaned against her desk. "He crossed the line, Dad. What he did to Hope, manipulating her into thinking they had a future, using Douglas as leverage, it's unforgivable. He needs to be held accountable." Ridge sighed, shaking his head. "I know Thomas has made mistakes, but he's family. He's trying to be better." Steffy's expression hardened. Trying isn't enough. He has to face the consequences. We can't keep giving him a free pass just because he's your son. The irony of her words wasn't lost on her. Steffy, who had once engaged in some of the very same tactics, manipulating Liam, pitting him against Hope, and playing with people's emotions, was now standing in judgment over her brother. She had always justified her actions in the past as being for love, for family, or for the business. But wasn't that the same justification Thomas was using now? Reach took a step closer to his daughter, his voice softening. And what about you, Steffi? You've had your own share of complicated situations. Are you sure you're ready to cast stones? Steffi felt a flicker of shame, but she quickly extinguished it. This is different, she said firmly. Thomas crossed a line I never did. I've learned from my mistakes. But had she really? Steffi's mind wandered back to the many times she had been in Thomas's shoes, desperate to win, to be chosen, to be in control. Whether it was her infamous rivalry with Hope over Liam or her involvement in various schemes to protect her family's legacy, Steffi had always operated in shades of gray. Yet now she was positioning herself as the moral authority, doling out justice to those who had wronged her. As Rich left her office, troubled by his daughter's resolve, Steffi sat down at her desk and picked up her phone. She needed to talk to someone who could understand the complexity of the situation, someone who had been through similar betrayals and battles for power. She dialed a number, and after a few rings, Brooke Logan answered. Steffi, Brooke greeted her warily. Their relationship was fraught with history, but there had always been a strange respect between them. I wasn't expecting your call. I need to talk to you, Steffi said, skipping the pleasantries. About Thomas and everything that's happened with Hope. There was a pause on the other end. You mean you want to talk about how you're planning to punish Thomas while conveniently forgetting all the things you've done over the years? Steffi bristled. Brooke had always had a way of cutting to the heart of the matter, and she wasn't wrong. I've made mistakes, Steffi admitted. But I've owned them. Thomas is spiraling out of control, and he needs to be stopped. Are you stopping him for Hope's sake, or because it makes you feel better? Brooke asked pointedly. You're not as different from Thomas as you think, Steffi. You both play the same games, you just hide behind different reasons. Steffi clenched her jaw. This isn't about me. It's about protecting the people I care about. And who protected Hope when you were the one manipulating Liam? Brooke shot back. We all have our moments of weakness, Steffi. But don't think for a second that you're above the same scrutiny you're putting Thomas under. You've been ruthless when it suited you. I should know, I've been on the receiving end of it. Steffi closed her eyes, the weight of Brooke's words sinking in. She had always prided herself on being a survivor, on doing whatever it took to get what she wanted. But was she really any better than Thomas? The justice she was seeking felt tainted by her own history, her own hypocrisy. I just want to do the right thing, Steffi said quietly, her voice losing its earlier edge. Then be honest with yourself, Brooke replied. You can hold Thomas accountable, but don't pretend you're innocent. We've all made choices we're not proud of. After ending the call, Steffi sat in silence, the echo of Brooke's words reverberating in her mind. She knew she had to confront Thomas, but she also knew that doing so would force her to confront herself. The justice she was seeking wasn't as black and white as she had wanted to believe. Later that evening, Steffi found herself at the Forrester mansion, where Thomas was waiting. His face was a mixture of defiance and desperation, a reflection of the man she had once trusted implicitly. Steffi, if you're here to lecture me, save it, Thomas said, his tone sharp. I know I messed up. Steffi studied her brother for a long moment before speaking. This isn't about a lecture, Thomas. This is about consequences. You of all people should understand, Thomas replied bitterly. You've done things just as bad as what I've done. Maybe worse. Steffi's eyes darkened. That's the thing, Thomas. I do understand. And that's why this is so hard. Thomas looked at her, confused. What are you saying? Steffi took a deep breath. I'm saying that I can't keep pretending that I'm better than you. We've both made choices that have hurt people. But this time, you've gone too far. And as much as I hate to admit it, you're going to have to face the consequences, just like I did." As Steffi walked away from the mansion, she felt the weight of her own hypocrisy settle over her like a heavy cloak. Justice had been served, but it was a justice tinged with guilt and self-awareness. She had judged Thomas, but in doing so, she had also judged herself.